Why, hello everybody, is Kyle from Unboxed Autos, and before us here today, we have the 2023 Lincoln Aviator Grand Touring Black Label. So we're going to discover, is the Aviator Grand Touring Black Label worth over $90,000? This happens to be the plug-in hybrid electric version of the Aviator, of course in the Black Label trim, which is the highest level of trim within the entire Lincoln portfolio of vehicles, and also comes with some special unique lifestyle perks too, which I'll get into later in the video. But for right now, we're going to discover some fun things about the Aviator here and find out if it's worth over $90,000 of your hard-earned money. Up front, I gotta say, I do really like the styling of Lincoln's midsize three-row SUV here. And it's been out for a while now, but I really think they did a really good job keeping this car very relevant in terms of design and style. I love the flow. I like the lines. I think it's a really good looking vehicle. A couple fun design things up front right here in the front grille. You'll notice that each one here of the grille pieces are actually a similar logo shape to the Lincoln logo itself. So I think that's a really nifty feature that the designers went ahead and put into the grille. Also, since this is the plug-in hybrid electric version of the Aviator, which happens to also be the most powerful, making 494 horsepower and over 630 pound-feet of torque, it is a blue hue here to the back of the Lincoln logo. So you can see right here, there is the blue mixed in there, and that is to let us know it is in fact the plug-in hybrid electric version. And it also can go a little over 20 miles just on battery alone around town if you just want to keep, the engine off. But really, it works like a normal hybrid and under normal driving conditions, but it gives you a lot of extra power. We'll of course talk more about the engine and driving experience when we get on the road. But up front as well, we have these two LED lights right here, which are the main frame here inside the headlight. We also have these LED accent lighting right here, and then blinkers are down here below. But overall, I like the shape here, sort of an egg shape in the front, nice curvature, good hood styling as well. So I really think that looks quite nice. Around to the side here, we have the, of course, Aviator logo. Once again, since this is the PHEV version, of course, we have a spot here to plug in the electric plug-in right there, standard electric plug-in. And then we have the Aviator, which is done in a blue, though. Letters are done in blue, signifying PHEV. Right here, we have 21-inch Pirelli tires. This is a Black Label specific wheel design. I like it. It's a machine flat, machine faced finish with a two-tone color, of course, being black and silver. I think it does exude a certain level of refined luxury here within the wheel design and color palette that it shows there. Goes nicely as well with this color. I like the color on this car. We also have chrome mirror caps as well, which add a little bit of pop on this. We also have, though, a black piece finishing right here, as well as right here, to kind of set off this sort of three color tone that we have going on here. We have the color of the vehicle, we have this silver accenting, and then, of course, this black finish. I think the door handles are a pretty unique thing about this car. They're very large, and they are electronically actuated, so there's no actual movement. It's just all a little sensor behind the door panel, or door handle here rather, that you open and close the vehicle. They're also soft close, so all you really need to do is kind of just let it close itself, and then it will continue the rest of the way for a nice close. Now, this of course is a three-row SUV, so of course the rear seats are going to be very important. So let's go ahead and check those out. I really like this particular color design, really do like it. Very spacious. I think they did a good job creating a nice, comfortable space here for the second row passengers. We also have our own climate settings and screen back here. We even have cooled seats in the second row, which is really nice. Of course, again, we have all of our own climate settings for second and third row, audio controls and settings. Can even look at the cabin air quality when the vehicle is running. So yeah, guys, I think in terms of second row, very nice, very comfortable, quite luxurious. There's even a manual sunshade here as well for passengers if they want to put that up. I really do, though, love this tan interior color. Tan accent stitching along with the black there looks pretty nice. Now, as we come around to the rear of the vehicle, I really think they did, again, a really nice job keeping the styling of this vehicle very cohesive. Really nice rounded surface right here. LED accent lighting across the entire rear of the vehicle. This nice, big, substantial light bar. Since this is the black label model, the Lincoln letters here have been done with a black. So the black label gets black specific trim, giving it, again, a cool little extra styling component. Now, once we look at, the whole rear of the vehicle, I think it's pretty evident that it, looks pretty nice and substantial, but yet a modern take on a refined Lincoln design. The lower splitter here is done with this quad exhaust, so dual exhaust, both sides, letting you know that this is, in fact, the larger engine, the most powerful engine that you can get here on the Aviator. Now, here it is. I was gotta find that. So, of course, it is electronic tailgate. A lot, again, for being a mid-sized three-row crossover, there really is a lot of space back here. And even the third row is not too bad. You could fit some adults back there if you need to in a pinch. And you're left with a sizable amount of space back here for some luggage, suitcases, sports gear, whatever you need, things like that. You can also lock the car from the buttons up here, as well as just close the tailgate. But yeah, I think overall, in terms of it satisfying the needs of families, people looking for a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, I think it does hit a lot of good points. The question does remain, though, is it worth over $90,000 for this mid-sized three-row plug-in hybrid SUV? Well, we're going to answer that question once we get on the road. We're going to take it for a drive, talk about the interior, and explore a little bit more about the features of the 2023 Lincoln Aviator Black Label Grand Touring. Once you step into the interior of the Aviator, you will be greeted by lots of soft leather surfaces with very nice stitching on them. The seats are extremely comfortable. These are Lincoln's 32-way adjustable seats. So if you cannot be comfortable in this seat, you'll just never ever be comfortable. That's basically the fact. I think it actually is the most adjustable seat in any car right now available. But, in terms of that, we also have heated and cooled seat components to that as well. I will actually go ahead and show you guys, not to get stuck on the whole seat thing, but it is interesting how adjustable these seats are. Go over here to seats. Here it is. So both the driver and passenger have the same setting. So just, amongst even this right here, not even counting all the different movements that we have here on the door handle controls, are, this lumbar support for many different areas of the seat. We also have the size of the seat can even hug you even more than they already do. It's already a pretty supportive seat. And then even the bottom of the seat can come up from the side like that, from the bottom, as you can see there. So lots of different settings for the seat. I personally find them already to be quite supportive, so I don't need any additional adjustments there. We also, of course, have massage. So there are several different massages that you can choose from, 3 different levels of massage as well. The massage is pretty good. It definitely does help on a long drive, sort of keeping you going, keeping you feeling refreshed. That kind of leads into Lincoln's philosophy of creating a sanctuary for driving. They're all about making their vehicles as quiet and calming as possible to drive in, and that is evident in this vehicle by just how quiet it is inside. I hardly hear any road noise when I'm sitting here by this very busy road, and especially driving it as well, it's an extremely quiet vehicle on the interior. So they did an excellent job with sound dampening and deadening to make sure that they kept it as quiet as possible for the interior occupants. Now, in terms of a few of the styling aspects here, I really think this is cool. I like this design right here. It's sort of a retro look to it, a later 60s retro look, and a nice metal finish there. Again, the leather, very, very good quality. I think Lincoln's doing a nice job of kind of getting out of their box and differentiating themselves from the Ford brand with their, sort of next generation of vehicles that we have here today. But of course, that is also evident once again up here as well with that cool trim. Cool accent stitching as well right here. It matches the rest of the interior. So pretty cohesive. I think the two-tone steering wheel is a nice touch. I really think, you know, it kind of adds a little bit of a uniqueness here on the inside, sort of set it apart from some of the other Aviator models as being the black label. Also very soft right here as well. So everything, you know, again, everything you're touching, nice soft materials, electronically actuated door control. So it's kind of just a cool push button to exit the vehicle. And then they go ahead and do a soft close. So yeah, you know, I also think the speaker grills look really nice on the inside. Some things that I don't love are the seating controls themselves. They're a little cheap looking. I think they could have done a little bit of a better job there. And then just the door panels. Well, again, this is that same upper dashboard material. It's very soft and it's not plasticky, and it is, you know, nice to rest your arm on it. At this price point, I think it would have been nice to have a full leather door panel. I think that would have been a very nice touch. But again, you know, for everybody that's kind of just looking at it, it's not bad. Over here, we do have some simple climate controls, heated, cooled seats. We can control all 3 rows from right here. Ambient lighting, lots of different ambient lighting options, which is nice. I like this one right here, so we'll keep it on that one. And then you can do your charging settings. Android Auto, which is only operable via a cable, so you do have to plug in USB-C to get that. But Apple CarPlay is wireless. This is running on the slightly older Lincoln system, so you know, any of their newer vehicles are going to have wireless. Incredible sound system here, though, guys. Absolutely amazing sound system by Revel. It just really is absolutely incredible. The all-encompassing audio experience in this car is top notch, top of the line. And, you know, lastly, I'll leave us with the very large panoramic view sunroof up top. It reaches all the way to the second row, into the back of the second row. So very nice. Lets a lot of nice natural lighting in, and it really helps the cabin feel airy for all of the passengers. In terms of this multimedia system, again, it is the older system, so it's not quite as quick to respond, but, you know, gets the job done overall. We have the ambient lighting, seating, charge settings, Android Auto, of course, and then we have our main controls right down here for phone navigation and audio, so simple everyday controls. We also have a few 3 hard control buttons right here. Camera system, bird's eye view, a decent resolution as well. And then we also have a few different options for the driving, so driving assisting settings right here as well. We can go through all of that. We have the adaptive cruise control, of course. We have the lane keeping system. We have pre-collision assist. We have speed sign recognition. Lots of good safety features right here that a lot of people will feel useful. So plenty of safety features there in their suite of safety products. Yeah, steering wheel, 3-spoke, nice steering wheel. The driver's digital display, a little bit small, but it's not terrible. The resolution is pretty decent, so I like that. You know, overall though, on the interior, not bad, but is it worth the $90,000? That question we'll answer a little bit, but will remain to be seen for the moment. Well, guys, let's go ahead and we'll pop it into drive here with the piano keys and take it on the road and see how it does. So we find ourselves here behind the wheel, ready to go test drive the Aviator Black Label plug-in hybrid. Now, this actually is Lincoln's most powerful and fastest vehicle. I say most powerful, at least in terms of torque, but it is their fastest vehicle in the lineup currently, which is really impressive considering that this car can go from 0 to 60 in about 5 seconds, depending on the day, perhaps a little bit quicker. Again, that is all due in part to the extra power provided from the battery. So we're again looking at over about 630 pound-feet of torque, which is really impressive, and 494 horsepower. So obviously that is a pretty significant number. Now, I will say one thing though about this plug-in hybrid powertrain is that it could use some further refinements. It's a little bit jerky in its handoff between you know, going from pure electric driving mode back with the engine on. Also, the engine's a little bit noisy for the price point, especially in some of the higher RPM ranges. But really, the biggest thing here that I take issue with, again, is the sort of jerky motions that can occur when you're kind of transitioning between the gas and electric trade-off, and especially when you're on the power, can be a little jerky. Now, I will say though, of course, I do love the power that this engine provides. Obviously, having 630 pound-feet of torque available, very low in the RPM band range, is really nice for getting up and moving along briskly and quickly. And of course, this is all-wheel drive, so we get, you know, plenty of traction. Now, the other thing that is sort of funny when you put this much power in a vehicle like this is just how it handles it. We're definitely exposing the maximum amount of power that this vehicle on this chassis should have. Now, I will say that having, you know, the battery component in the floor definitely helps keep this vehicle stable and centered, a good center of gravity. Now, not to say there isn't some body roll, but overall, considering its heft, I would say it does a good job at managing, you know, some of the different driving dynamics in terms of turning quickly and handling. It's not the top of the class, but it definitely isn't at the bottom either. And, you know, another nice thing about this car is, especially if, you know, you're living in a home with, you know, access to plug-in at home, you know, when you plug it in, depending on how long your commute is, where you're going, what your goals are for the day in terms of driving, you know, you can get about 20 miles to a little over 20 miles, depending on your driving, you know, style of pure electric range with this plug-in hybrid, which I really like. I think that's very nice. Not only is it, you know, provide a nice, quiet, calming drive around, you know, the deep city, but also really helps, of course, improve our fuel economy. Now, of course, this vehicle costs around $90,000, so fuel economy is not really going to be a big concern, but it's still nice to have that long driving range of, you know, a little over 400 miles on a single tank of fuel. When you combine that as well with the battery, you can get over 420 miles on a single, you know, charge and tank of gas, which is convenient. The other thing which I do like, as I may have mentioned before, is how quiet the cabin is. Very quiet cabin, comfortable ride, so, you know, very Lincoln-esque, very nice, very smooth in terms of the ride quality. So we definitely approve of that. And again, the sound deadening, very nice job with that. Very nice job with that. Now, one thing that I will say about the Aviator line in general, which is nice, is that even if you don't opt for the plug-in hybrid, you still get the twin turbocharged 6-cylinder engine, which makes 400 horsepower. So it's still one of the most powerful vehicles in its class, which is great. Now, all things considered, you know, there's a lot of stiff competition out there for this segment. Other cars to consider that also offer a plug-in hybrid would be the BMW X5 and the Volvo XC90. Those are also excellent choices. Now, I will say that this car is pretty spacious for what it is. It's a nice, spacious vehicle, and I really like how it looks as well on the exterior. I think they did, again, a very nice job defining the Aviator. I think it's one of the best looking vehicles that Lincoln makes today. So yeah, guys, you know, overall, if you're looking for a very powerful 3-row crossover that definitely has a lot of luxury features, I would definitely take a look at the Lincoln Aviator. Can I recommend the plug-in hybrid? I want to, because it, you know, has so much power, and especially when you get on it, it's kind of like, wow, it kind of like blows you away. You're like, wow, this is fast, right? But for everyday driving around town, it can be a little jerky, so I can't necessarily recommend that you get the plug-in hybrid because of the lack of refinement in the drivetrain. But
this having even the 400 horsepower twin turbocharged V6 is still a lot of power, especially if you compare it to something like a Cadillac XT6, which has a naturally aspirated 3.6 liter V6. I think that in terms of drivability and everyday driving pleasure, the Lincoln Aviator wins the race between those two cars right there. Anywho though, that's all I have for you guys today. Hopefully you've enjoyed our review here on the 2023 Lincoln Aviator plug-in hybrid black label. Until next time, I'm Kyle from Unboxed Autos.